Yo, what's poppin', guys? Sizzle here, and this is gonna be a quick guide on how to install Steam on Fedora. You just open up the software store, type in Steam, go to Steam, make sure you change it from FlatHub to the RPM one, and then hit install. And from there, you'll already have Steam installed, but I'll also show you what to toggle and some extra stuff to get so that it all just kind of runs better and that almost every game that can actually run on Linux will actually properly run on Linux for you. And you can see it takes a second, but now we have it already. So we're just going to hit open, and it'll already open Steam. Unlike on Debian and stuff, it's natively actually built really, really well for Fedora. We don't really have to do anything super crazy. I'll just be showing you how to enable Proton. And while we're waiting for that, we might as well actually get Proton Plus just ahead of time to get what we need there. But yeah, let's go boot Steam real quick. And then I'll open Proton Plus and show that off in a second. And the first time you boot Steam, it always takes a bit. This is true for any Linux distribution at any point. Then you want to go sign in with that QR code or however you normally sign in. In my case, it's just the QR code because I have the mobile app. And yeah, it'll load your user data. You'll load in to Steam just like normal. And here we are, up in Steam. From here, you want to go to Steam, and then Settings. And then from here, there's a bunch of stuff we can change in Settings. The main stuff I would recommend, though, is going to Interface. Scroll down where it says Notify about additions or changes to my games, new releases, or upcoming releases. Turn that off. That gets rid of those little annoying ad pop-ups every now and then whenever you boot Steam. Some other stuff I like to do is notifications. Those little pop-ups that show when friends are online or when you get achievements or whatever. I would just turn them off personally. That's what I like to do. I don't really like getting annoyed by that stuff when I'm playing games. Another one, in-game. I don't like accidentally opening the Steam overlay. This is mainly a thing in like Overwatch and games like that where you might actually press Shift and Tab by mistake. So I always change it to Shift and Caps Lock. Or can you do Caps Lock and Tab? No, Shift and Caps Lock. That's normally my go-to because it's pretty rare that I press Caps Lock ever. So if I'm pressing this, I actually mean to open the Steam overlay. And then the most important one, the reason you're probably on this video, is we're going to go to compatibility and make sure it's just enabled. It should be enabled by default these days. You can see there's not even a toggle to turn it off. But yeah, just have the default tool set to experimental. It picks a very good default for most people. And now I'll go show it off working real quick. So I'm going to go install 3 games to show it off real quick, being TF2, Straftats, and Overwatch. Those are really the main 3 that I think really show off how you can kind of get games up and running on Steam. And I'll catch you guys in a little bit after everything's done installing. Actually, while it's installing, I forgot we can go to Proton Plus and go set that up real quick. So you just want to load Proton Plus, and you can see there's a bunch of different options here for a bunch of different compatibility things. And what this does is basically add some community-built support for specific games and stuff. For 99.999% of people, we just have to go to Proton GE here and grab Proton GE latest, hit that download button, and it'll automatically download and install that for you and update it over time, which is pretty cool. And then we can go use this on Steam whenever we reboot Steam to fix the few games that don't work with Steam's built-in Proton. Another one that you might have to use if you're on a different operating system is CatchyOS, because that one apparently has some specific issues. But yeah, that's pretty much all you need to install Proton Plus for, and now you can kind of close it and forget about it forever. And I'll actually catch you guys when the games are booting to show you how Proton kind of works and how you can get stuff running. Alright, now that everything's downloaded, I can go show it off. So if we go launch Overwatch real quick, right, it'll just boot up and load, but by default on Steam, it has some mild issues. Now, most of them are actually fixed at this point because it's such a popular game that they made sure it actually works. In the past, you used to get to this login screen right here where it enters the game and it would not log in. Nowadays, it actually logs you in, and things actually are properly kind of working. You can see if we go into like the practice range or whatever, right, it'll actually let us go into the practice range and kind of do stuff like that. And the game's working fine. But it's not going to be perfect. at least in my memory. And if you have a game where it's not perfect, though Overwatch generally pretty fine. Something actually worth mentioning though is sometimes, if you go change your settings, like if I go into video here or sound, and like I turn off the music, for example, if I just like close out of it like this, or if I hit stop or something, a lot of the time that doesn't properly save settings. So if you ever play a game and you change some settings and you boot it back up, and for some reason it's like, oh, the settings didn't actually properly change, that's because you didn't exit it like normal. The way you have to do it for it to actually properly save is use the actual in-game like exit to desktop or quit or whatever. So like this dedicated exit desktop button will more guarantee that that actually saves. And you can see here, luckily it saved. Overwatch, like I said, is a popular enough game where Valve has kind of made sure that it actually works. But other games won't be so lucky, so you want to hit exit to desktop and then yes. And then exit more properly and let it kind of run its course that way. Right, so even hitting the stop here can cause it to not save stuff, so be a little bit cautious of that. But yeah, so there's that. Now let's say for whatever reason the game like launched, but it was like still a little bit buggy or had some small issues or something like that. What you want to do to fix that is right-click Overwatch, hit Properties. We're then going to go to Compatibility, and then force the use of a specific compatibility tool, and change it from Proton hotfix to what we installed earlier, being that Proton GE. But we actually have to reopen Steam for that to take effect, so let's close it out, and reopen Steam. And then if we go to Properties, now in Compatibility, we can change it to Proton GE, or we should be able to. I'm not really sure why it's not there. Maybe we have to reload the menu. Let me go back to Proton Plus, make sure I actually downloaded it. It is properly downloaded. Let's go into the system monitor and actually check it out there. You can see for whatever reason Steam is still open, so we're going to hit end process on that and then actually close it. I don't know why it wasn't closed. We should be good now on that front. So now if we actually reopen Steam, now it should show Proton GE. So if we go back to our library and go to Overwatch, we can right click, hit Properties, and then under Compatibility, we now can see Proton GE latest, and all you have to do is swap to that, and then any game that wasn't working probably will start working. I would stick to the default one on Steam most of the time if it works, just because it's more guaranteed to be the one that the developers intend you to use and for things to work better. But if things aren't working, Proton GE is like the experimental community version with more updates that eventually Valve then updates themselves. But if you need stuff ahead of time, if a game's really new or something like that and it's not working for some reason, although most new games are actually tested with Proton, then yeah, Proton GE latest is a fix for that. Then you have games like Straftat, which actually has a native Linux build for some reason, but it's a Linux build that doesn't work. So the Windows version of this game works just fine, but the Linux one doesn't. But by default, since it has a Linux build, if you hit play, it's actually going to launch the Linux version of the game. And this can do any number of things. I've had it crash. I have it sometimes open to a menu and then not load textures. I have a whole lot of different things happen depending on whatever the computer kind of feels like doing, because the Linux version of this game is never tested. Never really used by developers or whatever. I think I even asked them about it at some point in their Discord, and they were just like, yeah. I think they said they were thinking about testing at some point, but they didn't bother turning it off or whatever. By the way, for whatever reason, with the default launch of this, sometimes it just works fine like this. Other times it doesn't. And it bugs the fuck out. You can see it's still kind of stuttering quite a bit more than normal, I think. Right. But I guess this time it happened to work. Oh yeah, there we go. I didn't close it yet. You didn't see my mouse go and actually close it yet. It just crashed right there. That's because the Linux build of this game is actually particularly buggy. So we're going to go to Properties again, Compatibility, force the use of a tool, and then pick whatever you want. Normally I do actually just like using GE, to be frank. And now you'll see it actually is reinstalling the game because it has to swap it from the Linux version to the Windows version. And then once that's up and ready, we can hit play, and you'll see the game actually runs properly smooth, and that we no longer have the issue we just had right there where it crashes. Right, you can go load, you can see the load is way, way, way quicker. Quick match is way, way quicker. Ready up. We can see we're in the game's loading, the game's working, it hasn't crashed. If I tab out, the game didn't just crash all of a sudden. And yeah, I mean, now that's all working, and that's about all there is to that. That's how you can fix games that maybe have a Linux build for some reason that doesn't work. It's weirdly common on Steam, especially with older games or indie games where the indie developer just kind of sees like a checkbox that says Linux and they enable it without actually testing to see if it works. Most of the time, you're actually better off just using the Windows version through Proton, and that's how you do that. And then you have stuff like TF2, which is super interesting, where it has a Linux version, and you actually can't. I think it's the only game I'm aware of where if you boot, this in Counter-Strike, where if you boot the game in Linux mode, it works fine. But if you boot it with Proton, the game actually will not let you play online because you're in unsecure mode, as they call it, or something like that. So you can see I don't have any of my usual mods and stuff installed for TF2, but if we go boot the game and we go look for a match or whatever, you'll see that we can find one, we can play one, and everything will be pretty much normal. Alright, so we found a game, we join, it'll connect. Sometimes in games you'll get something like this where it says not responding during load screens. You just want to hit wait, or you can literally just wait. But yeah, you can see we're in the game, we're shooting, we're playing, things are just functional. Whereas if I go exit out of the game and I reboot it while forcing Proton, which makes it use the Windows version instead of the Linux version, it will still boot, and you can actually play offline games, but you won't be able to play online. And most of the time, it actually is pretty quick to swap between Windows and Linux versions, because for most games, like 90% of the files are the exact same. And Steam's actually smart enough to know which files to delete and swap between the two, so it's really fast, where it doesn't delete files that are in both of them. Either way, we go boot it up again, you'll see what I mean. And a lot of time in games, you'll have something like this where it says processing shaders. If you're on a really low-end system, you actually probably want to wait for this. But for 99% of people, with anything even remotely modern, you can just hit skip and it'll compile those shaders as you're playing, like it does normally on Windows and everything anyway. It's just Steam has now added options to help make that even better. Yeah. See, we load in just fine. Everything looks kind of normal. The font looks a little bit odd, and that's because it's the Windows version on Linux, so it's a little bit weird. But if we go start a search, we will actually find a game, but not be able to join it. Right, so we hit join now. You can see you're in insecure mode, and if you hit join now again, you're in insecure mode again, and it just won't let you play. So that's worth being aware of for Counter-Strike and TF2 specifically. If you accidentally force the Proton version of the game instead of the native Linux version, it will break. For most other games, the Proton version is just fine. And then there's a few games where, unfortunately, they just kind of don't let people on Linux play the game. It's almost always a developer decision. Proton can run pretty much every game on a technical level at this point, but some developers are really lazy with their anti-cheat and stuff, and basically are just like, fuck it, I'll disable Linux so I don't have to think about it. Whereas most bigger games like Overwatch or Marvel Rivals, or even smaller games like Straftat don't really care. There's this weird middle ground of games like, I think Rust is one of them, where Rust only lets you play on servers that have cheats enabled, which at that point is basically like not letting you play the game. I believe Apex Legends doesn't let you play on Linux. I know for a fact Fortnite doesn't let you boot if you get Fortnite up and running, because the developer of Fortnite absolutely hates Linux with a passion. It has nothing to do with anti-cheat. He just doesn't like Linux because it means more people go to Steam, because Steam works on Linux and Epic Games doesn't, and they can't be bothered making their stuff work, even though fans have managed to do it for them. And yeah, that's all of that. That's how you get up and running with Steam. That's just about everything you have to do to get it installed and configured and everything like that. It's pretty straightforward these days. 99% of the time, you don't have to use that little forced compatibility option, but I just wanted to explain it and show it off so that if you ever run into any problems, this will solve like 99% of your problems. And with that being said, hope y'all enjoyed and have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.